Today we are discovering what secrets Survivor Worlds Apart did not tell us in the edited TV show. Some of these are game related, some are strategic, and some are just plain silly. Basically, as long as it isn't part of the show that aired on TV, it is fair game to be considered a secret. And while most of the secrets here are focused on Survivor Worlds Apart, some of them do apply to Survivor as a whole. Heads up, this list contains the secrets that I personally found to be the most interesting. Not every single secret in existence about the season is in this video. So with that, let's count all 36 of them in absolutely no particular order.
39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor.
Number 1. Will got on the season due to his popularity from appearing on Jay Leno as a supposed surprise karaoke gas station patron. Well, as it turns out, this supposed surprise may have very well been staged. I will show you what Will says, followed by an investigative news report that exposes the other side.
Will has this great backstory where he was literally pumping gas one day.
Me and my wife got pranked at the gas station at Costco from Jay Leno. I was singing Living on a Prayer and she was singing Sweet Dreams. It went viral within like 4 days.
It's a recurring bit on The Tonight Show, Pumpcast News, where a fake anchorman surprises drivers.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Pump 16. You got a good voice.
Watch as the anchor gets this man to belt out a shockingly good version of Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer.
Tommy used to work on the docks.
Then the man's wife gets out of the car and belts out some Eurythmic.
Some of them want to abuse you.
Dance break.
You know, this almost seems like a plant. We had no idea these people were coming. Correct?
Correct.
What Leno failed to mention is that Will and Monifa are also both professional actors. Something else he didn't mention, Monifa had been on the Pumpcast News segment once before, just 2 years ago, in the same car and the same workout pants. And she insisted to the website The Smoking Gun that this second appearance on Pumpcast News was a total fluke, that she never actually bothered to watch her first go-round. But the website found Facebook posts from the night that first segment aired saying, "Don't forget to check me out on Jay Leno tonight."
Number 2. Since we talked about Will, we might as well talk about Shirin. She was bullied by him this season, no question about it, but what I was slightly surprised to find out was many cut scenes from the show, interviews, and Ponderosa videos highlighting her as annoying and somewhat of a bully herself. We will be tracking this all video. Here's a secret scene from around the time of episode 4.
Yeah, I love rice. It's delicious.
Raw egg. Rocky.
I spilled a lot of it, but it was super good.
We got our 10 raw eggs. We hard-boiled 9 of them, but Shirin decided to eat one raw, and we had to sit there and watch as the goop dripped down her face and her chest. And, you know, in real life, you kind of go, that's weird, that's quirky, but when you live and you eat and you breathe it every single day, it drives you nuts.
Number 3. Rodney and his birthday. Name a more iconic duo. Now, we unfortunately saw how time after time he was denied a birthday reward, and in this secret scene, we see even more of him going, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get a reward for my birthday. I just know it."
It's my birthday, man. This is gonna be the best birthday ever, whoever I go on this reward with, man. Every one of you guys to say that you'll take me, that's pretty real.
I haven't said it yet, but I'm planning on it.
No, but
I'm planning on it.
If you do, brother, or if you don't, I understand.
Rodney's been walking around. It's gonna be the best birthday of my life because I'm gonna go on a reward. He's just assuming it.
I'm ready to ease my soul. You know? Get out of here.
World, I win reward and I bring Rodney along with me, but I'm not swapping, no. I need the food, I need the nutrition, I need the sustenance. And Rodney's talking about how famished and exhausted and how much this sucks that he can't leave the island. Bro, welcome to Survivor.
Washing dishes on my birthday. 9 miserable days left on this island. It doesn't even grow coconuts or any fruits.
0 for 5 on reward challenges. I had a bunch of scumbags who neglected me on my birthday.
By the way, thank you for watching Once Upon an Island. Liking and subscribing really helps the channel. And if you want to pick what videos I make and watch every video weeks and even months early, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. If that interests you, then check out the link in the description. Thank you for your support. Number 4, are you ready to be blindsided? Inside Survivor received a leaked document for the originally proposed season 30 called Ghost Island, but it's not the same as the Ghost Island we got in season 36. I will link to the full document in the description, but the highlights are the cast are 30 second chance players divided into 3 tribes. The first challenge of the season eliminates a whole tribe. That's right, 10 players in one shot. That losing tribe goes to the edge of extinction, and on top of that, there is Ghost Island. Now, I am not sure who accidentally proposed 3 separate season ideas for one season, but I say fire them immediately. Number 5, in this secret scene from around the time of episode 5, Shirin is annoying people, surprise, surprise. This time, it's Jen.
How about just Survivor? I actually currently hate Shirin.
Oh, did you guys have monkeys? You know what we had?
No, do you have
howling monkeys?
howling monkeys.
And yesterday I saw them having sex. So the woman goes up and like licks the man's face a little bit.
One of her first stories in the camp was about monkeys having sex, and she like did it for us, and I was like, and then I look over and Shirin's trying to open this coconut, and she's been trying to open this coconut for like 10 minutes. Like, stop existing for like 10 seconds, please.
Number 6, Dan is one of the saltiest jurors ever, but being a loudmouth comes with perks, like making it into this video many times because he can't keep a secret. Anyways, here's him going off on Mike right after being voted out of the game.
I hung in there a lot longer than I expected, but I am gonna do my best to convince the jury to make sure that Mike doesn't win. Winning challenges does not make for a successful game, and Colby Donaldson proved it, and I will be damned if he ever gets my vote. Mike, I hope you burn in hell.
Number 7, in a post-game interview with Jen, she reveals that there was supposed to be a marriage proposal at the reunion, and Jeff stopped it. Why?
Just like he found out at the finale Joe was going to propose to me, and Jeff caught wind of it and said no. He was like, don't make a mockery of the show.
Oh, come on.
We're like, but it'd be so funny.
It worked for Rob and Amber, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, but then again, Joe and I, I feel like Rob and Amber were in love. Joe and I are in love, but that's a different kind of love.
Number 8, when Shirin arrives at Ponderosa, we experience some serious whiplash as an audience when we hear the uplifting music during her talking about being bullied and how she survived that, followed immediately by people being annoyed at her.
Where are my people? You guys, I'm so excited to be here!
Can we get hamburgers? Well, what about cinnamon rolls? But if we have hamburgers, we need this and this and this, and then we need a barbecue, so we need to have that, and then we need to have this, and this. Hold on, let's write down a guacamole recipe so they know exactly how to make it the way I like it, and then we can bring in the tomatoes, and then we can throw this in there, and this, and this, and this, and then I can make the salsa the way that I like it too, but they'll make it for me, but I'll make the recipe, and I'll write it down step by step so they know what to do. Why?
I don't know, seeing Mike come to my rescue is what actually caused me to start crying. Because I think it was like the first time in my life that a man had stepped in for me and stopped this bull from happening while everybody else was observing. And I mean, when you're standing around just observing, that is tantamount to participating in it.
Shirin has 2 things going on in her demandingness here at Ponderosa. In the real world, one, she gets whatever food and items she wants in San Francisco all the time because she and her tech boyfriend have like all the spending money that they want for that lifestyle.
Sierra's like, are you mad at me? I'm like, yeah, bitch.
Number 9, I love to compare the ads of Survivor over the years. From the old school clickbait to the new school super bland, Worlds Apart is somewhere in between.
White-collar professionals make the rules.
I expect a lot, and I have a lot of power.
Blue-collar workers follow the rules.
Everything that we do it 100%.
No collars, well, they break the rules.
We're dangerous. We never know what we're gonna do.
February 25th, these 3 tribes will be spending 39 days together. This is Survivor 30. The greatest adventure show of all time returns with its most compelling tribes ever. Survivor.
Number 10, in a post-game interview from the birthday boy Rodney, he talks about his advice on how to win Survivor. Please ignore how this contradicts the way that Mike won.
If you want to be successful in this damn game, you gotta focus your energy not on the outplay part. If you got that necklace on, you're considered a threat. The person out there who's a threat is clings onto the numbers, you form strong bonds with people, you play amazing social games. So I tell everybody out there, if you want to win Survivor, then why don't you go out there and outwit then outlast. Because the outplay part is the most overrated part of this damn game. If you don't see that by now, any person who wins that necklace, they're all of a sudden a threat, and they all of a sudden they got a target on their back. And ask Joe about that.
Number 11. Did you know Tyler was a kicker in the NFL? I'm surprised the show didn't take the angle with him, and I bet you they would have if he were on a different starting tribe this season. Hint, hint, wink, wink, more on that later. Anyways, when he is voted off, what do you know? Shirin is annoying him.
So last night I did tell him, I was like, hey, there are things that you probably don't realize about yourself that I'd be happy to tell you about. I put the ball in his court, and I think if he cares, if he wants to grow as a person, or if he just wants to hear the feedback, he'll come and ask me.
Even if it's like 5-day-old pizza, it's what I've been waiting for. This is my moment between me and the camera. So for 1 second, stop talking about yourself and your own experiences.
I know.
I just got here. I'm like less than 12 hours here. Let me have my moment.
Number 12. Somehow, someway, Haley Ford convinced production to bring her back on season 34, Game Changers, despite doing nothing remotely game-changing this season. But in Joe's Ponderosa video, we finally see why they picked her.
The next day, I reflected so much, and like that game changed my life.
Oh yeah.
Like it's changed my course.
Elementary, my dear Watson, elementary. Number 13. You may or may not know that Joe and Sierra from the season got married after he played on season 38, and they have 2 kids as well. What you probably still don't know is why Sierra was cast as a game changer, and I think I finally found the answer in this secret scene.
Are you at all considering taking me to the end? Absolutely. I'm afraid that if Mike doesn't win immunity, you're gonna split the vote still between him and me.
We'll split him and Tyler.
You'll split him and Tyler instead of him and me. That's what I was gonna beg you to do.
Absolutely.
It seems like Sierra wants to make a big move. And making a big move is not voting me out. Making a big move is voting out Tyler.
Number 14. Here we go. Weight loss time. I'm going to show you who lost the least amount of weight, followed by the most. And wow, the contrast is incredible.
So you reckon you're going to be more than 133?
Yes.
Okay. 133.0. So you lost 0.2 of a pound.
262.2. 220, baby! I lost 42.4 pounds.
Number 15, back to Shirin. This one, it's not fun to watch, but it's interesting seeing her mindset. In this secret scene, Haley tries to extend an olive branch to Shirin to help her fit in, and Shirin assumes that people don't like her due to her race.
They're saying you would do some annoying things too. You're like here to play the game and you're excited and you're like really intelligent and vivacious, but everyone here is really even kill. So it's kind of like the difference in energy level almost that was throwing people off.
I grew up in a rich Orange County suburb where the majority of my classmates were white and beautiful, and I stood out for not being any of those things. And I constantly felt like I was fighting for people to like me and like I was fighting for people to see the good qualities in me. And I think there's probably a lot of this scenario tapping into that.
There's different things you could do to take it off yourself, like the pulling aside and just being like scheming about the game. That like made everyone uncomfortable because it was like they're going way too hard. We don't want to play with people that are like going so hard at this game.
Number 16, Jen is a fascinating character this season. She starts off in episode 1 happy, using a Daniel Tosh joke as one of her own.
But of course I want $1 million. Money makes your life way easier. Have you ever seen an unhappy person on a jet ski? No.
Don't you love that one? Money doesn't buy happiness. Do you live in America? Because it buys a wave runner. You ever seen a sad person on a wave runner?
But by the time she is voted out, she does not care at all. Here's her right after she is voted out of the game.
I just really hate Mama C, and I can't pinpoint exactly why. I think it's because she's really fake. I hate her just the same way I hate Dan. They're just fake, and they're here for television, and it kills me. It was so stupid.
It's hard having Jen back because she didn't care. Like, I actually care. Jen didn't care at all.
I was like half afraid you would be bitter. That I like stayed longer than you or anything because I didn't want to be there. Survivor sucks. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't. You guys are great. I love production.
All they wanted was that $1 million. and I didn't care about it.
Number 17. This one is a bit painful. I think most of us can agree that Dan may be saying things without any ill intent, but the way he says them just hits people the wrong way. A misunderstood man at times. Well, in this secret scene from episode 1, we see that on full display.
That is a Viking symbol. Okay. There's a will, there's a way. I have a little cross on my inside of my toe.
Oh, nice.
And I have one on my bed. Do you have any ink, Dan?
Me?
No?
Nope. You know, I mean, the artwork is awesome. There's some really nice tattoos out there, but look at you. Why would you spray paint a rose? I think you're beautiful enough without ink. You too, Lindsay. That's my opinion. I think you're beautiful enough.
I have a face tattoo. Obviously, I don't mind the criticism, but I put a lot of thought and love into my tattoos. So I literally was so irritated. I couldn't get far enough away from him.
Number 18. What happens when your tribe is so used to Joe doing all the hard work, but then due to a tribe swap, you don't have Joe anymore, and yet work needs to be done around the camp? Well, this happens.
No. It was just so simple when Joe was here. So it's like, oh, we'll just lay him down and cut his head off. Finally, Carolyn just nabbed it.
Number 19. How is Colton Cumbie of Survivor One World and Blood vs. Water the reason Mike applied for Survivor? Well,
I almost threw my remote control through the TV screen whenever it happened. Yeah. And I was just like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Like, this guy's got a chance to play this game not only once, but twice. And my best friend was sitting there and he was like, well, what are you going to do about it? And I was like, we're going to go make a video. And we're going to, you know, and I made, it's really funny. I made this statement to my best friend. I said, if we make a video, they're going to watch it. If they watch it, they're going to call me. If they call me, I'm going to go to LA. If I go to LA, I'm going to get on the show. And if I get on the show, I'm going to win it.
So Colton quitting Blood versus Water led to you winning the game. Crazy.
I mean,
I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't know that story.
Number 20. Keep in mind what you're about to hear is from the perspective of Dan, and here's what he says happened between Shirin and Will that we did not see on the show.
Shirin pulled me off to the side and started calling Will a fat piece of shit and basically saying that he's hiding food. And she goes, I found his chest. It's buried in the sand. He left it there because he's stupid. Shirin, he bought it. He bought it at the auction. That was his to do with as he saw fit. Who cares? She goes, well, he's holding out on us. I'm like, no, he's not. He paid for it. Shirin wants to call people things behind their back. She wants to run around and say things. But as soon as anybody says something back to her, she cries.
Number 21. When Will bought his way out of the auction but then received a box of goodies, that was a cool twist that didn't get expanded on much in the story since he was honest about it. However, in this secret scene, people suspect that maybe Will lied to them instead.
Why would you not just bring back the box with the jars in it?
Right. Let's go find it.
You don't want to do that?
Sure. Just stick with the flag on it. It's laying right here.
That's something.
Shut up. Oh, come on.
Moved on. Look, there was more stuff in there than just that.
It's way bigger than those 2 jars and the little thing of powder. And I was like, well, that means he got more food than what he showed.
Well, there's 10 more food. We found a cooler.
What do you mean?
It's a cooler that like his food came in.
Who, Will's?
Yeah.
He just gave us the shit he doesn't want.
Number 22. Remember how Mike foolishly ate a scorpion in episode 1 and got sick? I think the scorpion in this secret scene is out to exact their revenge on these humans.
Okay, it's probably a scorpion.
It stings.
She was standing right here.
Oh, yeah, scorpion.
Scorpion, kill that bastard.
Then I find out it's a scorpion because I don't have enough to sting me out here.
Number 23. How far would you be willing to go to make sure someone is not looking for an idol? Would you spy on them while they poop?
We watch Joe to make sure he doesn't get an idol. So anytime you say you're going to the bathroom, people are gonna follow you regardless because the game plan is to get you out of this game whether you like it or not. It's no hard feelings, this is Survivor.
Seriously, bro? I can't even take a poop? Screw off.
What do you mean screw off?
I mean, like, just forget it.
Just what? I mean,
Rodney's right on my tail. It's an annoyance. It's like these mosquitoes and gnats and flies. It's just buzzing around you all the time and don't let you not a second on your own. Didn't even go. Like, ruined my moment.
Number 24, speaking of the auction, apparently there was more from it that we didn't see. Believe it or not, considering all the events that happened, as Dan elaborates in this post-game interview.
Now they showed Jeff Probst's face. They showed that look of shock and just he was dumbfounded that Mike went back. Carolyn then went up and asked for a refund. They went to a commercial break at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
They come back. Carolyn asked for her money back, and Probst says, no refunds. What they didn't show you was Probst looked at Mike and said, I don't know about this, Mike. You said you were coming up. I believed you. That is when Mike went up.
Number 25, with Mike on reward and not at camp, Dan's ego gets larger and larger as he does all of the chores in the secret scene. Oh boy, his ego, it's massive.
Normally, Mike does everything around camp. So if Mike is gone, all of it falls on me. All right, don't worry, Mike. Daddy got it. Sometimes somebody else likes to be the hero. I don't need multiple people to help with the fish. I can do that on my own.
Yeah, I'm the greatest fisherman ever, baby!
Number 26, after Rodney's voted off, he goes at it and says he is so amazing and the final 3 sucks. Rodney is the man. Ignore the fact that he just lost the fire-making duel in embarrassing fashion.
you know, people in Massachusetts, we're tough. We're tougher than everybody on the other side of the state. I came in here 185 pounds. I lasted it all the way to day 38 without a meal, without a reward. At the end of the day, the people who are left in the final 3, they're a bunch of old geezers. Their lives are over. I'm 25. I got my whole life to live. The young buck's on the prowl.
Number 27. Speaking of that embarrassing fashion and the fire-making duel, why did he lose to Carolyn, and why wasn't he better at this?
I wish if I didn't make it, I just got voted out. I mean, how many times in the years of Survivor did they do this fire competition? And you're gonna make me go through it? A man who hasn't had one reward the entire game? A man that I was shaking so bad I cut my knuckles because I couldn't even hold the damn flint. I'm so damn hungry and I'm starving. I thought I was coming here, barely passed out. I had no water in me, no food in me. And I'm gonna go slice away at a flint to start a fire? It's a bunch of He's a scared little baby. He's a silly redneck, and he's gonna get what's coming to him.
Number 28. Earlier, we heard Dan talk from his perspective about Will and Shirin, and in the show, we get a whole lot of Shirin's point of view. But what about Will? What does he have to say about this?
I think what wasn't shown was, her comments towards, me, Rodney, and Dan. She made a lot of derogatory comments to us all the time. I know at the next 2 trials, Jeff was begging me to apologize. He's like, why don't you just apologize? Just apologize. And I said, Jeff, when I apologize, I wanted to be sincere. After the blow up, me and Shirin never talked again until Ponderosa. So I knew she wasn't ready to hear an apology at that time, and I wasn't ready to give one because we're both still upset. You never saw, the comments that if you look back at our season, everybody had a problem with Shirin.
Number 29. Earlier, I winked and hinted that maybe the tribe setup is not all that it seems to be. Maybe casting changed some things at the last second, but how do I know this?
Yeah, Tyler's supposed to be on our tribe. Will wasn't on the cast, and then on White Collar, I forget his name, but it's some football player for the Bears.
Oh.
Was supposed to come. Last minute, he bailed out. They sent Tyler to the mall to buy all of his clothes, but now in yellow. They contacted Will, who had literally never seen an episode of Survivor in his life. He was supposed to be on Amazing Race with his wife, Manifa. So he had already had all the medical checks, all the clearances, like everything that you have to do to get on Survivor. He had already done them. So basically they called cast and they were like, we need a black dude that is ready to go right now because our one black guy got taken off.
Wow.
So they sent us Will.
Number 30. You already know that Carolyn was on the ballot for second chances and didn't get voted in. Well, as it turns out, she was at a disadvantage to everyone else, and here's why.
We had called CBS, Carolyn and I, and said, hey, we need to be able to be on the same level of footing ground as these other people that are getting to do these podcasts and put their story out there. And what CBS had told us was, well, you guys are the most recent season. You know, you're going to be remembered. Y'all are going to be, you know, probably, they didn't give us a guarantee, nothing like that. Don't get that twisted.
Yeah.
But they said probably by the popular vote, you two are going to make it regardless, so you don't need to do these things.
Mhm.
And Carolyn and I both, you know, just kind of felt like that our hands got tied a little bit, and maybe that would have been the nudge. Maybe it wouldn't have been the nudge to get her on the show. But in the fairness of the game, it just seemed like we could have come on and done the podcast, but not talked about the game that was going on, but about what we wanted to do the next time.
Number 31. Rodney's impressions this season were top notch, and here's him being Mike giving a thank you speech to everyone.
I mean, I just won $1 million, and like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm gonna take all y'all back to the hotel. We're just gonna party, do it Texas now. We're gonna do it for Texas, man, you know? So I'm gonna go home and take my mom out, and then I'm gonna turn that into $6 million, you know? So
Number 32. I almost never talk about the survivors' social media presence in any of my videos because it is mostly inconsequential. However, if you were to follow Max on Twitter, you would see he is constantly bashing the show, which is a funny contrast to him back when he played because he couldn't stop sucking up to them.
They say that once you learn how the sausage gets made, you'll never enjoy another cookout. But my experience in Survivor has taught me quite the opposite. I think the 14 days I spent out here only deepened my love and appreciation for this game. Thanks to all you guys. To be able to watch you guys work, see behind the scenes and experience it firsthand, it's been just a dream come true. Powerful nature of the experiences I was having, and by my awe, you know, walking around the corner and seeing a challenge build for the first time. Walking up the stairs at Tribal Council and seeing Jeff staring you down.
Number 33. We have seen many Ponderosa videos where the jury members get together to make a song or even a music video, the most infamous being the Dragons on Heroes vs. Villains or Chris Noble on Ghost Island. However, this season the Worlds Apart jurors attempted and failed to do it too.
The fact that no one ever got to see the music video we made is just probably a good thing, actually. We need to make a music video. So Adrian, the producer that's at Ponderosa with us and makes all the Pondy episodes, was like, all right, guys, whatever you want to do, I'll film it. So we spent there's everyone, and as new people keep arriving, like Tyler shows up and Dan shows up, and Dan's not involved in it, except for one part where he somehow managed to make it worse. And there's a scene where it's just like a shot of the pool and the pool deck, and there's nothing, and then you see all 7 of us just pop up and start crabbing around. I don't think anyone was sober at any point at Ponderosa. It was just the best.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that Adrian was like, this will never see the light of day. It will take down any credibility I will ever have as a producer if this sees the light of day. The chorus was something along the lines of, America, tribe America. And that's all I'll give you. But the verses were just about every person that was on the cast. So one was about Nina's poop idol. One was like Max putting his foot in the drinking water with his wart. You know, like it was just the whole thing.
Number 34. This is fairly common knowledge, but still a secret to most of those who are new to Survivor. Dan went hard, real hard to get on the show. Possibly the hardest of anyone of all time. So it's a crying shame how bad he did and was portrayed on the show.
I have been applying non-stop since season 2. I've probably sent in over 100 applications. One season I just sent in a deluge of applications. Just so they'd say, just give the guy an interview and shut him up already. I have physically driven over 25,000 miles to go to open casting calls. I don't know if you've ever had anybody on the show that has put as much effort forth as I have.
Number 35. I know I've used a lot of Dan in the Secrets video, but it was hard not to when he gives a 4-hour interview that, while it contains a lot, and I mean a lot, of ego stroking, it has fun nuggets of information in it too. Like this time when Shirin opposed being on the white collar tribe.
Then they go, so no call. You guys break the rules. You guys follow, you guys march to the beat of your own drum kind of thing. And we're all like, yeah, that's awesome. Shirin pipes in right away. This sucks. I'm not white collar. I do drugs. I go to Burning Man. And I'm like, oh God, there's one every season and it's you, huh? I mean, literally within the first 5 minutes of the game.
Wow.
So, and they never showed that.
Number 36. What happens when production fails to film something? It doesn't happen often, but it happens, and they can ask you to do it again, but they can't force you to, as Dan explains here.
I had to go down to the river, and I gave my bag to Sierra, and I said, will you please watch my bag? Well, what happened was, it was underneath the hammock. Sierra fell asleep. Tyler grabbed it, ran off to the side, whipped it open, read it real quick, stuffed it back in the bag, and put the bag back under the hammock, and Sierra never woke up. Production went up one side of him and down the other.
Wow.
Because they didn't get it on film.
Wow.
So when you see Tyler's arm reach down to grab my bag, that's not Tyler. That was staged.
Wow.
When you saw Tyler open it up to see what it said on the inside, that was actually me. So they took footage of me opening it up, and they presented it like it was Tyler.
Wow.
And they actually told Tyler to do it again. And he goes, not doing that again. No way.
So, which secret surprised you the most? Comment below and let me know. Thank you for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.